Eyes on your own paper, guys. Thanks for coming to hang out today. We are going to talk about sticking to your own planner this year, using it throughout the entirety of 2026, and avoiding FOMO like the freaking plague. The very best part of New Year's and new planner lineups is seeing all the good things that everybody has gotten for themselves. And the worst part about 2026 New Year planner lineups is seeing all the different things and everything that everybody has gotten for themselves. So I'm here to help you out with that. I am going to give you tips and tricks and ideas to keeping your eyes on your own planner paper this year. This is no shade at planner hoppers. I have planner hopped in the past. This is entirely intended to help people out who really want to stick to their own planner this year, or just stick to a planner and not give up on it entirely come March. And lucky for me, lucky for you, I do not have one particular planner brand loyalty. So I'm going to show you all different tips and ideas for all different types of planners. So this can apply to everybody, regardless of what planner you're going to be in 2026. Okay, so the best place to start is to back up a little bit and talk about auditing your planner that you already had for 2025 and what you need for 2026 if you have not done this already. I have a video already up on my channel explaining all of this. I will link it for you guys down in the description, but basically it's just an inventory and an audit of your life and everything that you could possibly need a planner for, to make sure that you are setting up the planner that's going to serve you best and that you have made the right decision with the planner that you got. And of course, along this line, make sure you are, of course, setting up your planner with things that are specific to your interests and your goals and your lifestyle. There are a lot of fantastic 2026 planner setup videos out there, but I mean, if you're not a frequent reader, definitely do not make a reading tracker that has 100 boxes to tick off in 1 year. So the first and best way to get excited about the planner that you're in or going into is to set it up, of course, specifically for you. I know we get a lot of ideas and a lot of inspiration. I have been guilty of it in the past. I have come up with so many setups and layouts for hobbies that I don't even have, things that I know already that I'm not going to stick to. If you are inspired by these things, if you do think someone else's hobby sounds interesting or the way that they gamify their life or plan their life, consider using just one page or just 1 week to give that a try before you dedicate an entire planner to something like that. So this is one of 2 planners that I will be using in 2026, and one of the ways that I set this up and am getting myself excited to stick to this planner for the entire year is, of course, customizing it to my tastes and my needs. So I have my cover page that is entirely matched and fitting to me. I have things to track my specific goals, budgeting along with my word of the year, different custom and fun pages to fill out. And then because I am using an Erin Condren notebook as my planner, entirely custom layouts. Now, if you are not using a notebook as your planner this year, you can still entirely customize your layouts. If you're having a hard time figuring out where to begin when you are setting up or using the first week in your brand new planner, go back to that audit list, check out the list of things for why you need a planner, why you wanted to start using this in the first place, what's going on in your life, and get those things down on paper first, and then you can be worried about everything else, the decorative, the fun colors. Even if it's just a list of special dates, days, birthdays, anything at all like that that is specific to your life, start there, get those things down on paper. If you want fun, creative pages like this, but you have a planner that is dated and already fully set up with those pages for you, I'm pretty sure every single planner out there has those blank back pages. So if you're looking for something to motivate you and get you stoked on sticking to your planner the whole year long, I recommend using those back pages with something that is a tracker for the entire year. So I have my goals in this one as well as my savings. This is something that's going to keep me coming back all year long, but it doesn't have to be a chore. If you don't want to have a major goal, or you don't have a major goal and you or can't have a major goal in 2026, or you're not saving for anything in particular, you can make these fun pages in the back of your planners for things like movies and books or restaurants, just simple things that you're loving and enjoying and you want to keep track of the entire year through. In the back of my Hobonichi Weeks, I have multiple year-long commitment pages. So this first one is my zero sugar commitment for the entire year. And I have my reading trackers. Again, this is something that I have already set up for every single month of 2026, the entire year. So these are things that will keep me coming back and using this planner without planner hopping, without feeling the FOMO and getting a new one. Now let's say you got excited about a brand new planner for 2026 and you've come to find out you don't have as many plans as you thought you did. Or you do have plans, but you got yourself a dated planner and you're worried about some weeks going to waste. If you had something come up where you couldn't fill out your planner pages, you got sick, you're on vacation. There are no rules that come with your planner, and the planner police, I promise, do not show up at the door if you change the way you're using your layout. So this is an old Happy Planner, for example. I broke the rules in multiple ways here. Rules. I don't have plans necessarily down on this page. I also wrote right across the type of layout. Did not stay within the boxes and didn't list out things on a schedule and appointment and plan specific basis. So go ahead and memory plan in those wasted weeks, or just back plan, write out things that already happened. Go ahead and use it as a sticker book and then just leave it. Have your fancy, pretty, cute, adorable, fun layout with stickers and then just leave it. And you can come back to it at the end of the year and be like, I was so busy I didn't get to my planner, or something happened, or I wasn't feeling well, but I still made this really fun page. You could also turn your entire week into a journal log about just one thing. Let's say that you started reading a new book series that you're loving. You could write that entirely in one week if you don't have any plans or anything else going on, or a new TV series or new movies that you're watching. You could also gamify your entire spread and turn it into something like a bingo board for yourself. Y'all, I never wanted to see the words quarantine ever again, but I'm doing this to share with you guys and give you some inspiration. So this is a custom page tip-in that I made for my Happy Planner, of course, in 2020, but you could also gamify and make a bingo board out of an entire weekly layout in Happy Planner, in Erin Condren, anything that you have. Another tip that I have for you guys to stay in your planner for the entirety of 2026 and to continue being excited about it is to get comfortable with white space. Not everyone has a ton of plans, and not everyone needs a ton of plans to still want to use a planner. But I recommend getting comfortable with white space, telling yourself it's okay. Otherwise, your planner is going to start to feel like a chore for you. You're going to feel like you have to come in and have a ton of plans or a lot to say. Everything needs to be filled out, and that is just not the case. You can write big, you can get bold with your stickers, you can doodle and do scratchy lines and letters across your planner spread. You can draw your own boxes, even if there are boxes already on the page for you, but you feel like you want something scratchy and doodly, go over them again with a pen in a messy manner. Another thing that you can do if you're nervous about settling into your new planner is to create a mock spread. Again, go back to that audit. What do you need a planner for? What are you hoping it serves you well with? And create an ideal day on the page. This might not necessarily be a day or a week that's actually happening. You can just plot out what your ideal day or week would look like and then just try to stick to that for a few weeks or a month. You could dedicate an entire week or month in your planner to just memory keeping and gratitude and photos and decorative. Or you could try a combination of all of those things. If you do get a few months into the year and you feel like you are really entirely uninspired by your planner and you're wondering why you got it in the first place, I recommend getting yourself a super cheap, like $3 notebook from Walmart. This one's a Stalogy. They're like $11 to $16, depending on when you check on them on Amazon, but I do have a Walmart notebook as well. Get yourself something super cheap and switch to that for a little while for list making and note taking. Just have a go-between before you rebound and jump from one planner to another. That's just my recommendation. Again, planner hopping is fine. This video is intended for people who do really want to stick to their planner for the entirety of 2026. Also, the notebook is a great idea if you're feeling a bit overwhelmed, and especially if you are a decorative meets functional planner like I am. If you're thinking, gosh, I do not have another idea for a decorative planner spread, just again, you can either get comfortable with the white space and just go entirely functional, make some lists, write down some to-dos, or you can switch into the notebook to get that feeling of moving into a new planner, but really you're just going to the notebook and you'll come back to the planner later. Speaking of stickers, if you find yourself unable to stick to your planner, you could give it a try. If you're a more functional planner type person, you could try stickering it up. Or if you feel like I've run out of decorative ideas, you could try going for just the functional, just some pen, maybe some markers, and a strip of washi tape. Also, new affordable stickers are a great motivator and way to stick to your planner for the entirety of 2026. If you've got that FOMO, but you spent 75, 100, maybe even more dollars on your planner and getting it set up, going and getting yourself one single sticker pack that's on sale is far more affordable than going out and buying a whole new planner. So just get maybe some new stickers or some new cheap materials that you're excited about, that you want to make a spread with, and maybe you will renew that love and joy for the planner you already have. These are ones my husband and kiddos got me for Christmas, by the way, just side note, and I am super excited to crack these babies open and use them. It's never too early to be excited about fall stickers. If you're not in a disc-bound planner, like a happy planner where you can swap in and out your pages, put in custom pages and tip-ins, but you feel like maybe having a different style layout or a different page spread is going to help you stay motivated and sticking with your planner, don't be afraid to glue pages in. So these are two printables that I created for myself in Canva, and while yes, I did just stick them down on the dot grid paper in my notebook planner, you can still get thicker paper or do a colored background and print something out, a different style, a different layout. If you feel like you just want a checklist, you can do that and still stick it over the top of the spreads that you already have. If you feel like your own handwriting is what's holding you back from using your planner for the entirety of the year, first of all, please don't. So many of us I have crappy printing. I have an astigmatism. I write at a slant. I see at a slant. Not everybody has perfect handwriting or can doodle or can draw really cool big bubble letters. And again, the planner police are not coming. I promise that is not them at the door. But you could get yourself a stencil. There are tons of alphabet stencil packs that are super, super cheap. I will link some for you down in the description, but you could also go ahead and print your own headers, your own days of the week, your own titles, captions, to-do lists, whatever. You can go into Canva. There's also lots of free printables out there and make these. I did not print any of this stuff by hand. But also, if you feel like you want to improve your handwriting or fun, funky letters, and you find yourself without a ton of plans for the week and you don't want space to go to waste, you could practice your handwriting in one of those weekly planner spreads. You could even double it up with some memory keeping and practice handwriting by writing out some of your favorite quotes in a book that you're currently reading, your favorite long series, your favorite song lyrics, or list out the shows that you're watching on Netflix, maybe like the series or chapter or episode titles. There's a ton of different and fun ways to practice your handwriting. And my last and maybe bonus tip, you guys, is to just have so much fun with it. Of course, planners are for our plans and our goals, our budgets, our dreams to keep track of and on top of things, but they shouldn't feel like a stressful chore. So this is a Christmas planner spread from last year, and I asked my kiddos to give me ideas for a theme, and we gamified this. We had so much fun with it. I asked them each for a word. One of them said Christmas, the other one said food, and so Christmas food, I of course initially and immediately thought of gingerbread. And in the end, just make sure your planners are going to work for you and they're serving you well. Don't feel like you have to do anything that anybody else is doing. Don't feel like you have to have all the supplies and the materials. Like I said, I plan in a basic notebook. Anything that I do in my planners can be done with just a piece of paper and a pen. And that's it, you guys. Those are my tips, tricks, and ideas for keeping your eyes on your own paper this year and sticking to the planner stack that you already have. Let me know down in the comments what you think of these. If you have any other suggestions and tips for us, we would love to hear them from you down in the comments below. If you want to see more videos like this, definitely let me know that as well in the comments. I'd be more than happy to create them for you. If you are new here, I would love for you to subscribe and hang out with us for more planner videos like this one. But you guys, that's all for this one. I will see you in my next one. Tell your dog I said hi. Bye, guys.